Yeah, so the Soundwise app, they can actually download the recording. So if they don't have Wi-Fi or internet, they can, as long as they do it manually, like they press the download icon, they can actually store the recordings on their phone. They can't download them off the app onto their phone to share, but they can download it onto the app, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
Cool. So one thing I was going to mention before, when you are when you are looking at creating programs, one thing you can do is, if you're anything like me, you've probably done quite a lot of hypnotherapy trainings, right? Like, put your hand up if you've done heaps of trainings, especially little ones. We all seem to be quite good at doing a lot of stuff. So when I do my trainings, I always print out manuals, and I've got this big like chest that you put blankets in that's full to the brim of manuals. I collect them. I love them. When you have a look in those manuals, you'll find that nearly every course you do gives you scripts for different things. So a lot of your content will come out of those manuals. At the front of it, it will say whether or not you're allowed to record them. And most of them say that you can't. Sheila Granger ones, yes, you can. So if you've done any of her little mini courses for different things, because I actually personally asked her if they were allowed, they're not enough content in the scripts to create good full recordings. They're quite small, but they also give you ideas of things to put in. So if you do have those ones, the other ones, if it does say that you can't record it, just remember it's that you can't record it the whole script. But there's nothing wrong with taking bits and pieces out and creating your own, maybe your own induction, using the ideas and the concepts, read it, and then say it. Oh yeah, Richard Nongard. So Faye's just putting there that you're allowed to use his too. So I'll tell you someone else, Steve G. Jones. I've got all his downloads. They're cheap script books.
And Jason Lynette as well.
Yeah, Jason Lynette. So there's people that sell these scripts. And like I said, if it says that you're allowed to use them with clients, but not reproduce them as a recording for sale, like I said, use it as a guide. Use your own induction, take bits and pieces from them and create it and make it more yours, and then it's perfectly fine. So this is another way to get a bulk amount of recordings. Like I said, you can sell recorded programs, but you can also sell a membership to which each month you add maybe 4 new recordings, 1 a week, so the membership will end up with tons and tons and tons of recordings, but they'll stay on it because you're constantly uploading something, you know what I mean? And they can be generic, they can be for anything. You'll see when I show you my Soundwise, I've only got my weight loss recordings program set up, but I've made space now to do a spiritual membership, a mind health membership. So I'm just going to start throwing all my recordings into these and offering membership programs and weight loss, like ketosis and all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of those programs will be using the same recordings or the same setup, but just changing a bit of the language. Like if you're doing one for ketosis, a lot of the recordings will be similar to the gastric band one, except for when I use my language, I'll be talking about being, what we would if people were wanting to move towards, having no sugar, no carb type thing. You change the language so you can reuse recordings in a different way. So you can see it is pretty simple, right? Let me have a look at what this question is. So with the membership, if they subscribe, is the recordings they have downloaded still available to them? Yeah, so...
Oh, sorry, unsubscribe, sorry.
Oh, no, if they unsubscribe, no, they lose them.
Okay.
What I found happens is they still have it showing up in their library, but when they click on it, nothing comes up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the only one problem I did have with Soundwise to note, which I did find a little annoying, was when someone cancelled the subscription, I noticed it didn't cancel the Stripe payment coming out. So I had to have a talk to them. So I actually went into Stripe, my Stripe account manually, and cancelled it through Stripe, which I thought was quite interesting. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, they can just cancel whenever they want, just like a normal audio recording. Yep, Stephanie.
Hi, so apologies once again if you've already said this. So you do your recordings at home. Do you have a certain kind of a microphone that you use to do that? Or?
Yeah, so I have an expensive one. It's a Shure MP7. It's about $500. It might be cheaper now. I got it when it first came out. The reason why I choose that one is it's an AI. It's got an AI generated thing, which means it only can hear my voice. So even when the dogs are barking and going crazy, it doesn't record it. So it doesn't make it perfect. But for me, in a house on a farm with tractors going past and things, I never get quiet time. If I do, it's midnight, and you can guarantee the dogs will bark and stuff.
Yes.
Or the kid will accidentally come in and open the door. It honestly cuts all of that sound out.
Really?
Like, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
And is it a standalone, or is it one that you sort of clip on?
I
And
haven't got it plugged in right now, but it looks like that.
okay, perfect.
So I'm not using it right now with us today. But when I do my recordings, I use this, and I don't even bother about a thing. You'll see if you are wanting to get into making, like I said, the professional sounding good recordings, Lawrence's course, which I put in the email, is I messaged him yesterday and asked if I could have a discount for you guys if anyone is wanting to. So he's giving $100 discount for anyone that wants to sign up. I know quite a few of you have that training anyway, because I talk about it on my course. So if anyone is wanting to do that, message me, or I'll put it in later. Also, Stephanie, if you go on the HNZ members, not the members one, my YouTube, he does two. It's a Shure MP2. Yeah, there are ones where you can actually see how to make, and he does talk about, people like to use something called a Blue Yeti. Is quite.
Yeah, that's what I bought a Blue Yeti, and I'm doing a lot of online sessions at the moment due to building a new home. I'm in my caravan, you might be able to tell from the background.
Yeah, I've got one too.
And I bought one of those Blue Yetis, but it still seems to pick up sounds around.
Okay, yeah, so what you do is you watch the Zoom or get Lawrence's course, because the first thing he teaches in the Zoom, and that's on YouTube, it's open to anyone to watch, is he teaches you this amazing little trick where you don't speak for 5 seconds, and you copy the first 5 seconds, and then you press a button, and then you select the whole lot, and it will go through and take out any noise that's in those first 5 seconds from your whole audio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then of course you listen through and just take little snippets out. If there's, like, my noise is always there of my lips moving. And another trick was the learning to breathe through your mouth when you're making recordings, so you don't get like I do all the time. I still have to remind myself, breathe through the mouth, and it does make that, it takes away that breathing sound. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can I say something? Another thing about Lawrence is that once you've done his course, you can repeat it over and over again as many times as you like.
Yeah, it is. He's brilliant, and I learned so much.
He's very generous, very
much
generous
from him. Yeah, and he's doing cool things like binaural beats now. And what's that thing where you get one frequency in one ear and one in the other, and they blend? Entrapment. He's even teaching how to do that, and I think it's so cool. Anyway, that's more advanced stuff. So I'll put the link at the end, Claire, because I have to just go on and find it. But yeah, so yeah, today I'm not really teaching the how to make the recording. I leave that for the master. Yeah, so, but yeah, microphones. I used one from JCar up until last year, and it was only $100, and it was good. Like, I had no problems with that one as well. So you kind of work with what you've got, and if you learn to use Audacity, you can get things. The key is, like I said earlier, with this kind of thing, put your perfectionist personality to the side. Like, I'm serious, Naomi. No, I'm kidding. Put the perfectionist to the side, because I know quite a lot of us tend to be in this kind of job. Put it to the side and get your program out there. as long as the balance between the voice and the music is okay, the rest of it you can get away with. And then once you've got it up there and you don't like the recording, there's nothing stopping you, doing it again, making it better, and taking off the old one and putting on the new one. Or do you know what I mean? So for this program, like, my challenge to you guys is just to get something up. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you're not 100% happy with it, charge a bit less, charge $49 for a program. It's a no-brainer price. And then, make it better. Put the price up, when you're happy with it. But it's better to just get something out there. So for my weight loss recordings, I'm just answering Faye's question, I charge $1.99. I'll tell you something interesting about it. Over Christmas, for the digital boost, because we're talking passive income, that's just a business thing that we run, a coaching program. I did this as an experiment, and the experiment was, how much do I have to spend in ads to get it sold? Where are the sales going to come from? How much do you charge? Like, I was getting it all quite tight, getting my head around how this passive income thing works. What I found was, charging $1.99, people pay that. Like, they pay it, they're happy paying it. They obviously feel like they're getting quality when they pay for that, because when I discounted it to $49, I think I sold one if I'm lucky. So for all of December, I put it at a Christmas special and no one touched it. The minute I put it back up to $1.99, 2 people bought it like the next week. And so what it showed me is that with this kind of thing, when you do have when you are known, and you are a hypnotherapist and you're professional, I think charging a little bit more gets people to buy it. They can get free on YouTube. There's probably 1 million weight loss hypnosis recordings on YouTube, but these people want you, and they want quality. They're paying for quality. So what I found is, when I keep it up at the $1.99, people buy it. When I discount it, not interested. So that was a really good, it was a good little experiment, because you normally would assume that that wouldn't happen. So for music, I'm just answering Dill's question. There's two lines of thought. You use music or you don't use music. It's whatever you like. The music that I got was from Subliminal Science. No, was the track is called Hypnotica. It might have been Enlightened Music. With hypnotherapy, you do need to buy royalty-free music, meaning you pay for the royalty. You pay for the ability to use the music. I would never, ever, ever rip off someone's music, especially if it accidentally goes on YouTube, because the minute you load it to YouTube has technology that picks up straight away whether you're using music that belongs to someone. And if you don't produce the copyright to them when they ask for it, they'll pass it on to the person that created it, and then you might be in trouble. So for what I'll do, James, is I'll link the website that I get the music off in the email later, or just so I don't have to jump on and look. There are a few places. For hypnosis and hypnotherapy, I tend to use music that has been made for hypnotherapists, not meditation music or relaxation music. Music that's made for hypnotherapy doesn't have any sounds in it that's going to engage an emotion. Our job is to engage an emotion in the client by what we say. If you have music that has wails or church bells or a choir suddenly singing, what happens is that engages an emotion in the client, positive or negative. Bells might be played at someone's funeral. So when the bell goes ding, you're going to get a response coming out of the client. So we need to be the one in control of the client's emotions, especially if we're doing clearing work. So I do like to buy music specifically for hypnotherapy. They tend to keep it really clean. They will put binaural beats in it. So the one that I share with you, there's a theta and so they've got all the different waves. Vicky's just shared one as well. If you do, so when companies do give you free recordings, they tend to only give you 5 minutes long, like snippets. there's nothing stopping you going on to Audacity, little secret, and just taking that 5 minutes, copying it and pasting it again, and then you've got 10 minutes, and then you've got 15 minutes, right? So so you can do that. There is, I kind of suggest, and it might have been Vicky that said this to me once, was that yeah, Vicky said that's what she does. So you can just do that, copy and paste some music, pull it back a little bit so it doesn't go quiet and then start again. On Audacity you do have a fade in and fade out option. With music, I like to have, I've got tons of royalty free, like tons of music. I've got shamanic drumming ones and stuff, depending what I'm doing with people. But for these kind of programs, you can stick to the one set of music, because the person's mind will understand that song, it'll learn it, and it will become a trigger to going deeper in trance, if that makes sense, or into a deeper space. So if you use the same recording on each track, it's perfectly fine, apart from if you do a walking outside one. If you're doing a walking outside one, you'll just look up royalty free energetic type music, and you'll come up with millions of websites with, you know, free downloads for high energy music that they usually put on, like advertising promo type tracks. So those you can either get for free or $1 or $2, and you just, you know, copy and paste to make it bigger. So for me, I actually went to a proper place. I think I paid about 90 New Zealand dollars. I found a track that I really liked when I started out, and they give you the 30-minute and the 60-minute version, and I stuck to that probably for years until I got a bit obsessed with putting music in the background stuff and having a bit more fun with it. So it is good to, these are your recordings, so it is good to sometimes find something that you really like and just invest in it, have the copyright of it, and just know that you're making, you know, good quality stuff. Yeah, so I will link that at the end, and Vicky will link it. So that's the music. Like I said, some recordings are real nice with just a voice, if you can get the background clean, what you learn on that YouTube or you learn on Lawrence's course. Sometimes it is good just having a voice and nothing else, which is really interesting as well. You can get really technical, like in the training, you can learn how to have two voices going at the same time, which is, if you've got a mind that likes to control stuff, it's very hard to control when you've got like the voice going, both of them together, and you're trying to pick up words, you know. So there are lots of things you can do with recordings, but we'll leave that for, that's recording stuff. Yeah. So I will link Lawrence's course later and all that, where to get recordings from. Cool. So recap. So in front of you, you guys will have your course that you're going to make this week. No, you've got your course in front of you. Yeah, we've talked about what it looks like. Any questions when you had your break come to mind? Not cool. Oh yeah, Dill.
So we have these recordings for week 1, 2, and 3. What are we offering in week 4?
You don't have to, it's up to you if you continue. So I kept it simple at week 3 this time, just to make it easy for us to put things together in one day. Like phase 1 is definitely 4 weeks. If you've got more recordings that you want to add on, then you just either make a week 4 or you just make the weeks bigger. I think it's nicer for the client to not overwhelm them. So if you've just got the basic membership topic, you can, you know, they'll get given all those recordings just in a line. They won't be drip fed out. So they will get a lot of recordings. That's why you'll put week 1, listen to this one first, this one second. But definitely not too many recordings. Even if you did, we did 3 today just to, you know, bulk it out with us, you know, while we're talking. But even 2 is enough with a recording to information recording. Is definitely about not having too much stuff for them to do, or else it will be, you know, too much. So you can spread the 3 weeks that you've got in front of you out to 4 weeks. You know your clients. You might not want to give an anxious person too much to do. I don't know. So yeah, you just kind of feel it out, but that's a really good guide of how you can create recordings from now on. If you've got that in your head, you just need to write out week 1, week 2, week 3, set your recordings up, what you're going to do, put where you want to do intros. The only tricky bit really will be coming up with the script, which doesn't need to be tricky too if you've got a lot of stuff to fall back on, or you can jump online and Google scripts or Hypnotic World, even ChatGPT. I've been playing with that for script writing as well. So there's lots of ways to get ideas. Sometimes even listening, you go on YouTube and you listen to other people's recordings. A lot of them on YouTube aren't actually written by hypnotherapists, I've noticed, because when you go into them, the language that they use is not actually good for what we do. It's a lot of talking about the problem instead of the solution in the recordings. So you just listen with wise ears and take what you like. Just seeing the question. Yeah, definitely for a wrap up, I'm just reading some questions here. Yep, so for Rebecca, yeah, you will have a completion to the program, but you'll also say that to keep listening to the recordings, because as you know, listening to them every day is, and keeping it going. So you'll just say, I've included bonus recordings. It is good for the mind to continue listening, as much as you need it. And maybe even a bit of an upsell to, in the future, because you're going to find this so easy to do, you might make other recordings. So you might have something at the end saying there's other recordings available, or a membership if they're liking doing things. Oh yeah, I will do a list, Claire. Yeah, so Faye just that Michael Seeley has got tons and tons out there to listen to. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to getting the audio tracks onto the Soundwise and what it looks like. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll set this up. Okay. This is where the magic happens. Share screen. So here we go. It's going to make you guys small. Put this down the bottom. So basically there's 2 things for doing this. I actually want to see you guys. I'll put this here. Yep. So I've got open on my screen Canva and Soundwise. What you do want to have when you are selling these recordings is, a catchy picture for the people to see when they first jump on. So in my recordings, I went into Canva and I just looked up a template. I'll show you this first. So say I'm going to just need to move you to the side. I'm going to create a design, maybe an Instagram square post. And I typed in here podcast in the template, and this is where it came up with all these different templates that you can use. Of course there's better ones if you have a membership with Canva, or you've got the basic ones. So this is where I got my one from, and for now I'm using, so these are really easy. I mean, you guys probably know how to use Canva, but say if you chose this, everything can be changed, the picture, the background, to make it yours. So instead of starting from scratch, it's so much easier just to pick something that you like and hear and go from there. It makes the job really easy. So with my one, I just chose just a picture like this. I made it quite bright so it would stand out and just put my name on it. And it is really basic, but it's enough, especially when I have this picture on Facebook, it stands out. So I chose something quite bright. And then for each thing I make, I use the same background as well. Like I said, it's about making it really simple. So this is what I do. I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. And yep, Nora. We've got a question. I can't hear you. No, it's, have you got headphones in? If you got headphones in, take them out just for now. If not, I'm not too sure. No, it's not working. Can you type it in the chat?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, great.
You must have been quite close. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, great. Sorry, guys. So I have Soundwise, the app on my phone, and when I
Yeah. I got up to when you
did a test and double back at me. So I've got it on my phone, the app, and when I open it, it's like I see the unlimited potential post podcast just in there. As a subscriber, is there another app that I should be going to?
So if you have your own, do you mean if you have your own, if you're selling things on there? Is that what you mean?
So on my phone, I've got Soundwise.
Yeah.
And I click on it, and it says who I am, but I don't. It's not giving me anywhere where I can load or.
Okay, no. You have to do that through your website. So you've got My Soundwise set up on your phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's different. So that's what the person that buys your program will get is they'll download the app and it will come up with the recordings and things to listen to. So if they download one of your recorded programs, it's going to show them all the other ones that you have available to purchase as well. So that is different to actual Soundwise. So if you go up in the chat, there's a link up here to get onto the actual Soundwise itself. Yeah, so those are different. I'm just gonna go to here and I'll go back onto sharing screen again. Cool. So this is, like I said, this is Canva. So I recommend on your recordings that you use the same background for each recording. So for my virtual gastric band one, so for my keto one that I'm starting doing, so I'm doing the hypno-ketosis. I've got the little keto book there. It will say the hypnosis ketosis program or something like that. But I will use this picture for each recording. So if there's a recording for drinking more water, which this one is, the picture will be the exact same picture, but it will say drink more water. So when they click on that recording, this is the picture that's going to come up in the background, if that makes sense. This is how you make it, once again, super simple. You only need to go back onto the same picture on Canva, change the words and download it. Yeah, so that's another way to make this happen really quickly and really easily, is just go with one template that you like, stick to that template, change the words and use it for what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. So that's Canva. And we're going to go to Soundwise. This is what Soundwise looks like in the background. I'm just going to put you guys over here. So like I said, I've set up different ones that I'm going to start making, just to show you what they look like. So we've got, yeah, a couple. Spiritual hypnosis is a big thing right now. So I'm going to start doing recordings for that as well and do it as a membership instead of a paid one. So on here we have, like I said, this is the basic membership. So I've only paid for the minimum one. I usually have the more professional one, but I cut it off just to do this demo so that you didn't feel pressured to have to, get a more expensive one. When you do go into the higher end ones, you end up with analytics, and you can message your people that buy the service. But for now, this is just basic. If we go back to what I might just do quickly is I'll stop share and I'll go to my link. Where is it? Just put it on. Here it is. I'm going to open that up. Come back and I'll share screen so you can see. Just double check the price. So this is what you jump on. I'm just seeing what the price includes. So the one that I'm using right now is this starter one. When you do purchase it, make sure to click monthly if you don't want to pay for the whole lot. I got caught out one time when I went pro, and I forgot to click monthly, and it instantly took about $1,200 out of my account or something, which at the time it didn't matter so much. But then I thought, yeah, you click monthly, because then, you know, if after a month or so you don't want to use it, then fine. So the difference with Soundwise, you can have a podcast even on the basic one. So if you like podcasting or you want to get into it, it will link straight to Spotify and all of the other apps if you wanted to do something like that on here as well. I do prefer using something else called Anchor FM, which is free to use, and it's way easier for podcasting. So if you are interested in podcasting, check out anchor.fm first. You'll find it, and that is actually made by Spotify, and it's super, super easy to use. The difference with this one is it is linked to your, if you are selling recordings, if you were to make a podcast around the things that you're selling in the recordings, then you can actually, the podcast can link back to, people will see that you've got them for sale when they subscribe to your podcast. So it is a good way to keep, you know, connection going, having one, if you did want to do it. What else? Yeah, when you pay big money, you can remove the branding and stuff, but it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, and this is the other thing, it's the where it says 50 listeners here, what that actually means is unpaying listeners. So you uploading clients for free onto the platform, they only give you a certain amount that you can upload. So for me, like I said before, I tend to give my client audio recordings outside of Soundwise. I have my own app for that, or you can put your client recordings onto YouTube as unlisted and then send them an email with the links to the recordings that you want them to listen to. That's one way to get audio tracks or video tracks to your clients without doing them through Soundwise. If you are only seeing a small amount, then it doesn't really matter. But 50 tends to go quite quickly, especially if you do just one-offs with clients. So yeah, that's the membership stuff, if you want to get onto that. Oh, interesting, I didn't know that. So they charge a 10% transaction fee if you do the smaller one, and then I didn't know that, and then it goes to free if you do the bigger one. So even then, you start with a little one and get used to it, and then of course you do what you do when you need to. Cool, so that's Soundwise. And this is what it looks like. This is where it gets really easy. So if you are wanting to do a weight loss one, you can write these tracks down, what I give to my clients, as an idea of what it looks like. So for mine, I give a welcome to the program. I have a little PDF attached, and it's just really introducing myself. If you see at the times, it's not long, it's like 12 minutes long. From their week one, they get a mind-body connection recording. This is only really short. All it does is it gets them to go back to a time where they felt full and feel what full feels like and feel what empty feels like. And then it kind of reconnecting their mind to that feeling again. You know, most of them don't know what full feels like. And on the first week, I give them a bit of a clearing recording So if you have done my training, you'll know that one, but it's just like a general recording of clearing out past events and things like that. Anyone that doesn't say week on it, if you are doing right now, because I'm on the basic membership, all of these recordings will just come out in one go. But when I was drip feeding them on the next level, they came out separately every 5 to 7 days. So the ones that don't say week next to it, they just get them straight away as bonus tracks. So working with unhealthy feelings around the body, one for self-esteem, virtual gastric band, and then of course just the morning and evening gastric band. Whoever you learnt gastric band with will have recordings that go with it. Recordings for choosing water, a control room recording, you know, speed up metabolism and all that stuff. This is just clearing feelings from the body. So it's teaching them about, you know, what to do when they have an uncomfortable feeling in their body, being able to shift it, which of course is really good for emotional eating, exercise while you sleep, hypnotic programming. That was an idea of Hypnotic World. I saw someone else did that where they were programming people to, you'd listen to the recording during the day, but it would tell you to exercise, go for a run in your dreams, and ask the body to actually make changes as if you're doing it. It's quite interesting. I've had clients wake up saying that they remembered in their dreams that they were running through a different country, and yeah, so it's quite cool. Active walking, I'm really big on that. So active walking is a lot of the time when people are, especially bigger women, are doing weight loss. The problem is they're in a space where their nervous system is shut down. So listening to hypnosis recordings all the time for them wouldn't actually be that beneficial. What's beneficial for them is moving and letting their body know that they're safe. So giving them recordings which get them to move while you're giving suggestions of health and wellness is really good. So I do that in like a walking hypnosis type thing, but I also do that in a trance dance where I actually get them to I put trancey music in the background and I get them to move to the music. And if they're uncomfortable, they can do it with their lights off. If they're a very big woman, which a lot of my clients are, I get them just to move in the chair while they're listening. But what it's doing is it's giving their body suggestions of safety. So I always put that one in there. A bit of breathing ones, positivity ones, moving towards healthier foods, hypnosis. I do that in kind of a control room way where, not control room, fork in the road style. But instead of it being fork in the road, you might have heard of this concept. It's where you have 2 tables in a room, and one table has food that's good for their body and one food doesn't, and then they see themselves standing behind it if they chose to eat those foods, and they have the conversation with their future self eating those foods, and then you put the emotion of how they feel about seeing themselves eating those foods onto the food. So it's kind of dumbing down the if there are any pleasant emotions attached to those foods. You know, it happens at childhood, you know, when people get given things and love gets put on food. What that hypnosis recording does is it starts to dumb down the positive emotions associated to the foods. The mind will start seeing the food as the outcome, like in Fork in the Road, if that makes sense. So I give one of those recordings. Creating a calm anchor, very important. So it's something that they can use through the day when they're feeling heightened. Trance moving, clearing hypnosis recordings. I chucked in a bit of alcohol, some more relaxing ones, drinking more water, jogging. I've put that in twice. Yeah, and that's one from the lovely Faye, the Felt Sense of Safety recording, a beautiful one that she teaches in her training. So this is what my program looks like. Now, this is a big one. And I only put tons of recordings on there because I had tons of recordings already, right? So you don't have to feel pressured to have a lot of recordings. I just did that. So like what you can see here, I only did 2 in the first week, 3. Yeah, so does anyone have any? I'll just stop sharing for a minute. where is it? Stop.
What's the cathedral clearing?
Basically what I do, I'll stop share so I can see your face. Cathedral clearing is I take people through, it's just a visualization of going through a garden. In the garden there's a waterfall so they can wash off the stresses of the day, and then they go to a space, you know, a beautiful big space where there's a burning fire. The control room is in that building. What I do is I have a house in my mind that all of these different concepts, like the control room, the fork in the road, a place to talk to loved ones that are passed over. In my mind, I have a big building, and each of those buildings has a different technique. And that's how when I write scripts in my mind, I take people to this space in this building. Upstairs is my super conscious room connection, and even then you can go, I've got doors. If you're into past lives, you can go to past lives through those doors. The reason why I do that in my mind is so that I can close my eyes and go into trance and create recordings, just, you know, going through the space, but having all those ideas there instead of having to think, oh, I'm going to do control room. But the cathedral recording is the concept of clearing. Like, if you guys have learned either Graham Harvey's clearing, or there's a beautiful one I saw a while ago with a cabin in the woods with notes up on a board, different colored notes. The red notes are past experiences that are not positive, and then they've got the green and the yellows that are good. And what you do is you rip the red ones down. You don't even need to know what they are, and then you do go through a process of releasing or burning them into a fire, and as you do, all the emotions attached to those times and events clear. So it's that kind of you know, clearing out just past stuff that they believe is causing problems. Like I said, you can do it in a way with seeing pictures and things, like in some of the scripts. In other scripts you do it in ways where like I said, bits of paper can represent the not good times, and that way it's quite content free. People don't have to go back to past stuff. But I always put something like that in to anything that I do, just because whether or not it is affecting them right now, people's ideas and beliefs are what's causing their problems. So if they believe that they put on weight after they had this bad relationship with this guy in the 20s, then we can do all the hypnosis in the world, but we're not really targeting that belief. So all the recordings you put in, you want to have ones that would target specific beliefs that people might have. So past experiences is a big one. And like I said, when you're doing it with recordings, doing it in a way that's content free, so they don't have to have scenes flash up in front of them, by using colored paper. And when you do those clearance type recordings, it's quite important that you get them to feel. A lot of the scripts and stuff that you read online, you see them visually clearing stuff, but they don't usually have suggestions of feeling it being released. And for change to happen, we know with Joe Dispenza, it's got a lot to do with the thought and the feeling together to create the change has been experienced. So when you are doing recordings, even as in recorded programs, always get the people to feel the emotions being released. Get them to feel how good it feels to be free, lighter, you know, like that. So bringing the feeling into what you're doing. So I also have the stone clearing one, which is where they carry a very heavy backpack to the top of the hill full of all their crap, and when they release it, they're free. And that, I've had more changes in weight with people doing that one stone clearing than I've ever had with doing gastric band, because we know that, like Faye teaches it all the time, if their nervous system is wired and they present in weight gain, then going out and walking and strictly dieting and stuff isn't going to work. What we need to do is actually release past experience, get the nervous system back to chilled out again, and then their body will start responding to what they do. So yeah, I get like comments from clients and even students is that it's actually for weight loss, it's a lot of the clearing stuff, calming the nervous system stuff down, that actually causes weight loss, because if it was just diet and exercise, they generally don't end up coming to us. They come to us when nothing works. Like I've tried every diet, nothing works. That's the people we tend to see with hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So we know it's got a lot to do with the nervous system as well as poor food choices. Most of my clients, it's nervous system. They're generally eating nothing and exercising and really stressed out. So like I said before, it is really important to give them recordings that actually get them to move, because putting them in a hypnosis every day is actually keeping them still. And keeping them still was telling their body that they're still in danger, they're stuck and they're frozen. So giving hypnosis recordings in weight loss and sometimes in other things as well, moving recordings is super, super, super important. Yeah. Cool. So that's kind of what my weight loss program looks like. And as you can see, I did add on extra ones like drink less alcohol, because you tend to hear it, you know, women drinking wine at night. I've got no problem with wine, but if they're having a bottle at night, then we know that they're dissociating from something. They're moving their mind away from stuff that's deeper down. So giving them clearing type recordings plus a little bit of help with alcohol and things like that is just whatever you see and hear out of your clients is what you're going to give in those recordings. Just message me about that kind of stuff for stones and that. So when a client is in trance, it's not with the moving recordings, you just give suggestions of being aware of the surroundings. Okay, so it's not, they're never going to go into a trance that is dangerous. And I don't even believe so much in those trances anymore, because my work is mostly done with the eyes open. I don't do a lot of closed eyes trance anymore. I think you know, clients come in trance if they're doing behaviors that they want to stop and they can't stop. I believe they're in a hypnotic trance when they walk in the door, and what we're actually doing is taking that trance of eating that bad food away, if that makes sense. So but if you are concerned about that, then when you do the walking hypnosis, you've got upbeat music, so they're not going to go into a relaxed space, and they power walk. So you have the upbeat music, not hypnotic music, and you give suggestions of, as you listen to my voice, you are going to stay alert to the surroundings around you. But as you walk, I'm going to be talking to your subconscious mind. I'm going to be talking to your superconscious mind. As you walk, you're going to notice that walking becomes easier, like a well-oiled machine. You may find that your 30-minute walk today feels like just a moment when you get home, and you're going to be excited to do it again tomorrow. So what I find is people do the walk, and they walk more than they normally do, and they come home and they feel like excited about it, and they said, I'm sweating and I don't even remember really walking that fast. So I didn't so much put them into a trance of relaxation. It made it easier for them to keep a rhythm, you know, in time with the music, and be kind of more excited about being out there. So it's a real different style of trance to relax down and go deeper. Experiment with yourself, because you don't do an induction either. It's just they play the music and they just start walking, listening to your voice. You can do walking type of trance and movement type of trance, just giving positive suggestion. Repeat after me, you know, every day I'm becoming more worthy, you know, making sure that they're progressive, like not telling people that are overweight, I am skinny as they walk, because the brain will go, no, you're not. Every day I'm becoming happier with my body. So you can throw suggestions in, and you can even say to them as you walk, repeat after me, this is easy. That's what I do when I go on massive walks and I start like dying. I tell myself, this is really easy, I can do this. So you can do that kind of thing with walking. So it is quite different to the lie down trance. Very powerful. People love it, and it gets people walking and they actually enjoy it. And like I said, with anything, getting out and moving for 30 minutes is going to help anything that you guys deal with. It's like one of the major changes. If they've changed anything walking 30 minutes a day for mental health will be the biggest one, I reckon. So it's a good one to have in a nice little, or a lead magnet freebie you can give people. Okay, so back to sharing a screen. I'm going to show you how easy this stuff is now. Okay, so this is the program. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to go to first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the landing page and the checkout page. So this is created. They ask you to create it. The landing page itself, people don't generally end up on, especially if you just share the link to the checkout page. So usually on Facebook and on my website, I will talk about the program and then I'll link it straight to the payment page, because the less clicks people do, the better. So if you clicked from there to another landing page to the payment page, they're less likely to pull out. Do you know what I mean? So you do have a landing page there if you want it. So, but a lot of your sale, this is what Vicky's going to be talking to you about next week, will be you really want to sell it on the Facebook or your website or your Instagram or your ad that you put up, opposed to using the landing page on here. But it is here for people. This is what the landing page looks like. It's pretty basic. So using the power of hypnosis to transform your life. It's got the price, you can get access. Down here it has an overview of content that's going through there. All I did was throw up the recordings that I've got in there. I don't know if I put anything in here. Oh yeah, so it's got, they can see what hypnosis recordings I've added, so they can have a nosy. Back to the overview, it has a couple of things. Like I said, I just threw this together quite quickly. So I just put some things that we see if you listen to it. It's got a bit about me, and then underneath it's got different things that I offer. It's showing these, but they don't even have any recordings on them. I've just got them live as a Justin has to get that done thing. So at the bottom, when people look at this, they're going to be shown other things that you have. From here, when they want to get access, it just clicks to the payment page. I've got it set up to New Zealand dollars. You can change it in the back end. That's where you put what your price is and pay now. So it's super simple. From there, they receive an email which has the information to download the app onto their phone and how to do it. So you don't have anything to do with the person at all, really, unless you make contact to them. So that's what it all looks like. What am I going to do? Go back to here. Yeah. And for looking at the tracks, I'm going to go to one here and I'll go to, I'll just edit this one just for now. So this is where we input stuff. And all you have to input is the title, the information. This should have a disclaimer on it, but as you can see, I made it super easy. Like I just chucked it up there and got it going. An action step. So please download the PDF. Someone asked me earlier, oh, it might have been you, about an action step. You know, if you want the person to listen to it every day, this is where you'll write the action step. You can upload notes if you want. And this is where the track cover art goes, which I should have one on it, but I haven't. So this is where you'd click your Canva file with the name. So for my yellow one, I would just go straight to, what's this called? Oh no, that's welcome. It doesn't matter. I would go back to this Canva picture, open up my gastric band one, and I'll just go over here and type slide that down a little bit. Yeah, and then I will download it. I'm just doing this so people can see how I do it. Click download. Download as a picture. And it's being done. Cool. And then I will go back to here, browse, recent, here it is, upload, and there we have it. So that's what I mean by pretty publish, pretty simple uploading things. This whole program is simple to use, which I really like. When we go back to, say, mind-body connection recording, once again, I've just put a little bit of information in here. This is recording number 2. Please have a ball in your hands. Only listen while sitting or lying down. And here, I've got my little mind-body connection picture there. Here's my audio recording. I'll show you how to actually upload that in a minute. But this is all the information you need to put in, and it's done. So it's pretty simple. When you do start out, you create a soundcast. So I'm going to go to my soundcasts here. And if I want to add a new soundcast, I'll just make up something. This is what comes up. So we want to make it public. A title, self-hypnosis. That's actually one thing to write down. On all of your recorded programs you give out, you can give one audio recording actually teaching self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis meaning you could put a count 3, you know, close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths, count 3, 2, 1 or whatever, and just take yourself to that beautiful space, visualize what you want. So you could teach some kind of little mini self-hypnosis thing. I'm just going to write this is to show self. I'm not actually going to use this, by the way. Self-hypnosis. I'm going to choose a category. Should be health and fitness. What you will get, something. Featuring something. I can't think right now, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And here I'll put a bit of a, oh, did it want me to do something else? Cover art. I'm just going to put that other one in and then I'll delete this, just so that it's got something in there. Yep, save. Cool. And then J. Don't need a picture of me today. And then we come down to here. I am doing this quite fast, but you are getting the recording. So when it comes time to do this, just scroll through the recording and then you can just do each step and pause it if you want to. So you don't really need to take notes or anything right now. You'll get this afternoon. You can do a bit of a bio. What I do is I just have it a copy and paste. So I've written out a few things about myself and I have it on a notepad and I just slide it over. So I don't have to rewrite these things. This is where we get down to setting it up. So for this one, when, like I said, when you upgrade, there's other features you can do. Like you can have an intro and outro, you know, set up, which I don't do myself if you upgrade, but it's not needed. So for pricing, all you need to do once you've set up Stripe or PayPal onto this program, you can set up whether you have a one-time rental. In other words, they'll only get that recording for, say you send out a recording and they only get to listen to it once or twice. You can set the amount of time they're going to do. You can do a monthly subscription, a quarter one, or an annual. So they give you all of these options. You give it a name. So I'm going to do like a something here. I'm going to charge $99 for it. I'm going to charge New Zealand dollars. And they do coupons here. So when I did do a sale for $49, I just created a coupon here. Yeah, which you can put your percentage, and it will just give you a code that you add to your discount. Yeah, so if we were doing Valentine's special at 50% off, yeah, it goes down to 49 from 99. Once that's set up, you can go to the promo page. It's not set up because I haven't set the plan up, but that's how you'd get the code, is just heading back to there. So which one are we on? Yeah, so you can do things like specials and stuff like that. So once I've put all this in, this is also something else. So you can change the email that the person gets. And so when they do purchase, they're going to get this in their email box, and it will say to download the app here and then sign up with the email that you use to sign up for the audio program. That is super important. So if someone buys the membership, say for me, if I bought it on info@Hypnosis New Zealand, and then I created an account through Soundwise through JLet, it's not going to work. So they need to sign up for Soundwise with the same email they're using to purchase. That's how it all links up. Yep. So they even do like I said, they do the email to them to set it all up. So that's basically what you're paying for with the $12 US a month, is getting them to do all the work for you. So that's how you set up a Soundwise. I'm just going to publish it. And then I'm going to take it off so people don't click on it. Okay, so now it's been published. So if I go back to here it is down here. Right, so from here, all we need to do is click on tracks, and over here is add a track, and this is where we get back to this page that we had before. Cool. And this is where we upload the audio. So it does take oh, that's quite cool there. It says it does take MP4 now. So if you did upload a video, it would convert the audio for you. So that's quite cool. If you are doing podcasting and you record your podcast on Zoom, then it says there that basically you could upload your Zoom video that you download and it will turn it into an audio format. So it's pretty cool. I hadn't seen that before. So once again on here, it's the same thing. You can put your cover art there that you make on Canva. If you have a PDF that you want to share, you just put it in here, or the URL. The action step that you want to do with them, please listen to this every day for a certain amount of time. This is where you just put a bit of info of your recording and your title. And this is just where you upload your audio track. So if I do a body awareness hypnosis, upload it. Just waiting patiently. While that's waiting, I'll write some more stuff down. I'll see if that will publish. I think it's done now. Yep, it's done. It's green. So I can publish it. I'm just going to publish it now and then delete it. So once it's published, you can go back to your soundcasts, go down to sleep hypnosis, and there we have it. Done. How cool is that? And then from there, if I wanted to share this right now, as is to my page, I just go onto landing page. and copy the URL at the top. You know, you might want to make it into a link one, you know, where you can add this into, or you can just share the payment place. Yeah. So I just grab the top up here, grab the link, and then it's good to go. You send it out to your clients. Cool. So I'm going to come back to questions. It's already 12 o'clock. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you connect sound-wise with Stripe? Is it certain steps to connect it somehow?
Yeah, it will tell you. So when you sign up, there'll be a place where it says connect to Stripe. You have to have a Stripe account, and what happens is Stripe will give you a little code, and all you need to do is copy and paste it into Soundwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Rebecca just asked, is the landing page on your website? I don't put the Soundwise landing page on my website. I put on my website, there's a picture that says hypnosis recordings. It has a picture. This is what Vicky will teach you next week. It has a picture of the recorded program, and then the link, the button that I added to my website goes straight to the payment page. So what I link is just the checkout. So I give the information on my website of what, you know, the recordings that they could be purchasing, and then I link it, like I said before, linking it straight through to the payment page is the easiest. You can put the landing page anywhere you want, but I find that, you know, having short and sweet, good wording, and linking it to the payment page is the easiest way to go. Cool. Any other questions?
I've just got a, oh yeah.
Yep. Clear.
Oh, yeah, I just got a question. So the first one is, if you link, like I've got clients, and if they do $1,000 program, I'd like them to link on to, say, the menopause program.
Yep.
Could you give them a coupon for 0% for that program?
Yeah, so I did do that, and what I actually did was, because like I said, if you just add them on, you've only got that limited of 50 people. So what you can, I don't know about doing the 0%. It's quite possible that you can, or you could do it for $1 or something. And the thing is, if you do it yourself, this is where I went wrong. With one of my clients, I put it down to $5, which of course you get back from Stripe anyway, minus it. But what happened is I forgot that the first time I forgot that I had put my email in, and so I got sent it, but it got hooked onto my jlet@gmail. So if you are going to do that for a client where you purchase it for them, as part of their membership, when you do upload it, make sure you use their email, and then you have to tell them to download Soundwise app and sign up using their email. So you can do it that way. Yeah, does that make sense? But you can definitely get around the 50 client thing. So I've done that myself with a bit of trial and error. But yeah, I imagine you would be able to give them the discount, if not the, you know, 99 or something like that.
Yeah, I just got another one. Is that so when the client comes and buys that program, so do they then can download that program on Soundwise? But say if I unsubscribe, you know, in like 3 years' time, for example, do they then lose that content?
Yeah, so that is a really good question. You do have to be a member, I think, for them to be getting your programs. So what I do with mine is I say that they get it for a year. I don't say they have it for a lifetime, and you can put it in the terms and conditions. It doesn't mean that you have to cut them off after a year. It just safeguards you if for any reason you decided not to continue. I'm not 100% sure what happens. I imagine it would, get turned off. because I think they make the money not on the purchases, but they make the money on the $12 covers their platform. Yeah, so definitely don't offer a lifetime membership to something. Offer a certain amount of time for it. That's a really good question, Claire.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah, Dill.
So, that email that you just showed us, the template where you say they need to download the app, etc. Is that automatic? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
ready one?
Yeah, so it's totally, so you really don't have anything. Once you've made your recordings, you don't have anything to do. It's all Soundwise. So they will purchase it. Soundwise will send the email out from Soundwise. If someone contacts you and said, hey, I bought the program, but I haven't received anything, then you'll just message back that it's in their spam folder because it's come through Soundwise. That's only happened to me once or twice. So yeah, they have, it's pretty much basically between Soundwise and the client. We don't do anything. The only thing you can do is you can change the wording on the welcome email, or it can just be standard. So they do give you the option to change the wording and not make it so serious. But I tend to leave it as is so that they know that they're actually dealing with Soundwise, and then you don't have the issue with people, contacting you about stuff.
So then, sorry. So when they download the app, okay, do they have to pay for the app?
No, they've
No.
already paid for it. So what they do is they receive, it does have Apple, and I'll go back to Soundwise again and show you. Here we go. So if I go back to, where was it? Go to Soundcast. I'll go down to want to edit. So if you want to actually edit the background information, you click on edit. I just had to think for a second, and we're back to this page again. So this is where you put all the background information for your podcast. So things like track names and what to call things. Vicky's going to be going over that also next week, and how to create catchy names for your program itself, because I know mine just says virtual gastric band, but that's the program that people know is on the website. But you want to catch the person's attention with the picture and the name. So Vicky's going to go through that, and you'll also go through naming the tracks to put on your message in here. So you will go through that. So back to this email. This is what it says. So thanks for signing up. If you don't have the app, which some people might already have some of your recordings anyway, so they might have bought a second one to add on, it will tell you to download either iPhone, and it gives you the link, and the Android. It says to sign up with the same email that you used. And if you've already got the app on your phone, then that new audio program will be uploaded automatically. So that's exactly what it says. Yep.
Yeah. So sorry, I was asking if they have to pay for the app when they download it.
No.
And
no.
Okay, so once they've got the app, they can just keep listening till whatever time we've stipulated. If can they download it all and then release the app? Give up
No.
the app?
So they can download the audio track onto the app.
Yeah.
So that they can listen to it when they're not in the internet, but they won't be able to download it off the app onto their phone. They can't do that. If people want to, they can screen record. I mean, there's ways for people to do that. And I mean, if people do that, then they do that. Like, to me, it is what it is. We can't stop people doing that, but the app itself is not going to allow a download off the app onto the phone. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If they paid $1.99 and they find a way to do that, sweet. It's a bit different if they're paying $9 a month for something, you know what I mean? That's a little different. But what I find is people generally don't bother doing that. a lot of people like the fact that they've got an app on their phone and it's all there for them and it's easy. So it's, yeah, not very often that people download recordings. Cool. So who thinks that's pretty easy to do? Yeah, pretty straightforward. Who's going to do it? If you don't, I'm kidding. Like I said, we are going to catch up next Sunday, but this is something to just get in and do. And like I said, it doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be the best program out there. Just get something up, even if it's pretty basic. And maybe even especially if you've got some of those recordings, give yourself a couple of weeks, put a little bit of time aside and just get in and do it, and just put it out to your audience, put it out to your your Facebook, put it out on your website, and just kind of get that connection going. Do it. Vicky's going to teach you this stuff. Have a couple of emails going out, and just get this going, because trust me, once you've done it, it's one of those things, you just do it and then you realize it's actually pretty easy, and then the ideas will flow and you can start getting a good bit of passive income coming in. Yeah. Yep, you can do an individual recording if you want to, one-off recordings. You can pretty much do anything. And like we said before, with the idea before with the audio book, you can do audio book on there. You can do a podcast on there, which pushes people to buy the program. You could do little podcasts on how hypnotherapy helps with weight loss or anxiety, or Faye, you can do a nervous system podcast, and it's in the same app where your recorded program is, so that's going to push people through as well. So yeah, the whole aim of today was to show you that the stuff can actually be super simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, people have their eyes closed and they're listening to you. It's a connection they want with you. They wouldn't buy this program if it wasn't about you, because they can get this stuff for free on YouTube. Like I said before, they can get hypnosis recordings from the best people in the world, but these people don't want them. They actually want the connection with you. They might not be able to afford to see you, but they want you. So that's what they're buying. They want your voice. They don't want something perfect. Doesn't matter. They just want to have your recordings, if that makes sense. This is all about you as a hypnotherapist. So definitely get out there, even if for now it's just chucking all the recordings you have on to Soundwise and setting up a $4.99 subscription. Just get in there and do something just to get the ball rolling so you can learn the process, and then go from there. And I guarantee you'll probably find it quite fun and easy. Yeah, I'm just going to get Vicky to jump on for a moment, because I've done my part. I will be with you next week if you do have any questions at the start, but then Vicky will go on to language and sales, but I'll get Vicky to talk to you for a moment about her plan.
Awesome. Thanks, Justine. It's been great, hasn't it, everyone? I'm loving seeing all these comments about how inspired everybody is. So can't wait to see next week what you've all been working on. So the goal next week is that this week we've covered creating a program, or, whatever that program looks like. But it's not really going to help us if nobody knows that it exists. So the goal for the next session is to look at the branding of it, as Justine mentioned, the naming of the tracks in the program, and starting to get your messaging, the wording that you're going to use to talk about your program, but also how to actually let people in the world know that it's there and invite them to purchase it. So yeah, we're going to, as I say, branding, marketing, looking at how we can actually let people know that it's there. Faye, you've asked a question about Facebook ads, so we can look at that as well. So really, I just wanted to check in with you guys if there's any specific questions you have or things that you want to cover around the marketing and selling of it. If you can just pop that in the chat so I can make sure that we cover it next week for sure.
Cool. So I will be sending an email soon. I'll wait when this Zoom recording is processed. I will I'm not too sure, Claire, about that. I think it's better to use your own system and your own mailing list to advertise, but yeah. Yeah, I'll send out the recordings tonight and the links to things like, I know you wanted Lawrence's link because there is a discount link to his training for this course. I'll send out the recordings for the music, different platforms. I'll get Vicky to send me the one that she uses. I'll send you the ones that I've used before. And I think that was it for the links I need to send, but you'll be getting this first one today. If you can, a really good thing to do would be to, if you are really busy this week and you don't have time to put things together, have a really good idea of what it is that you're going to be offering. Get that really in your head, because next week's session with Vicky, if you've got that idea solid, then Vicky's here to help you with your wording. It's much easier for you to help because she'll give you an option to ask, how should I word this? If you've got what you kind of want to say ready, then Vicky's going to help you create the wording. Whereas otherwise, if you come unprepared, it is still good because you'll have the recording of Vicky's session, but you won't have the Vicky there in person to actually say, hey, what about this? Or the whole group, because we all have amazing ideas, helping each other. There's a little kitty. So yeah, so at the least, just try and get your head around exactly what you want presented so that Vicky can help you with it. Yeah. Do you have any more comments, Vicky?
No, I think you've wrapped it up nicely. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, guys. Well, it was cool spending today with you, and it was exciting doing this today, the recording stuff. It's something a little bit different for me to teach, but yeah, awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much,
Welcome.
Justine. Amazing.
Stop recording.